Hi, welcome to a new kind of foster family, giving stability to children on the move. I'm your speaker, Janet Rohde, and this is my audience of one, Sebastian, and also my cameraman. This subject is near and dear to me as I am a former foster child. The statistics and information I'm going to give you were well researched as well as lived. In 1967, abortion was not legal, and my mother, in California, so my mother had me, gave me up for adoption. I lived in the hospital for 2 months, where I was then fostered out to a family for 2 years, and I was eventually adopted by that same family. At age 12, they decided they no longer wanted me in their home, so they gave me to a government-run facility in 8 miles into the Davy Crockett Forest in Texas. This is where my education and child welfare really began. I was a kid. Hope Center for Youth was that facility, and we lived outdoors. We built tent structures. We learned to cook. It was actually kind of nice. The only problem is it wasn't just for foster children. It was also for juvenile delinquents. So whereas innocent foster children came for a home, a place to live, the court sent juvenile delinquents, such as little baby prostitutes, little 13-year-old girls that were drug dealers, and kids that were a bad influence for other kids that were more naive. So when you finally got out of the system, you usually had a pretty bad education there and street stuff. A lot of group homes are like this, as they're detention facilities for foster children as well as juvenile delinquents. Once the kids get out of these group homes, they go to foster homes and then maybe back home to their parents. Something else happens, they go back to the juvenile facility, they go back to the foster homes. The cycle continues on and on and on until at 18 they're finally aged out. And that is the government term for it, aged out. They give you a $200 check and you're out. There's no other support for you from the government at all. So if you're part of this cycle of moving around from home, foster home, group detention facility, you really don't have a chance to work and save money to get an apartment at 18. You have your $200 and that's it. And whereas there are private organizations that are out there to help these kids, most of these kids don't know anything about it, as they don't have time to research it and online or anywhere other way because they're too busy just trying to survive. These statistics will show you what happens to these kids, so a lot of these kids. These statistics are from the Casey Family Program's National Center for Resource, the family support organization. It's a child welfare agency, kind of a watchdog for the federal government. 520,000 kids are currently in the foster care system today. 12 to 18 months after leaving foster care, 27% of the males and 10% of the females have been incarcerated. 33% are receiving public assistance, welfare. 37% have not finished high school. 50% are unemployed. Now, it's hard to get employment when you don't have a place to live. And it's hard to get a place to live when you're not employed. It's hard to finish high school when you're trying to work and make money so you can get a place to live. It's a vicious circle. When you move place to place, it's hard to keep a job. From the National Association of Social Workers, 80% of prison inmates have been through foster care. From the National Center on Child Abuse and Neglect, children are 11 times more likely to be abused in state care than they are in their own homes. And mind you, these are the homes they've been removed from so they can get better care, and they're being abused. Also, a lot of the homeless population are former foster children, along with current foster children, as a lot of the kids end up just running away because there's no help for them. I was one of those kids who ran away, and you sleep on couches and do whatever you can. So yeah, this is not a life for our kids. You can't get household skills on how to run a house, how to be a part of a family. You just don't learn those skills. You can't go to college as you don't have money. You don't have family support. This is the stuff that keeps me awake at night. It needs to be better. These kids need a place to call home. A real home, no matter what age they are. Somewhere they can always go to from age 1 to age 100. A home. Seems impossible, but it's not. Now let me ask you to close your eyes and picture a big piece of land, maybe with some pasture areas, some trees. And now there's somebody like Habitat for Humanity, and they're building a nice little 2-story house. It's got like 6 bedrooms. It's a big house, got a big kitchen. And then you have people donating things, the sinks and the dishes and the couches and beds and posters and paint. And you have farmers donating a cow and maybe a goat, and maybe the pound is bringing over a dog and a kitty and a couple of dogs maybe. And then the hardest part is the parents, the 2 people there to run that house. Now it's hard to find because you need somebody dependable, stable, safe. Now if 7i are willing to do it, we know there has got to be other people like us, because we're not, you know, the most perfect humans on earth, but we know there's more like us out there. Now you start bringing in a couple kids, because you're starting small, right? We just have this small little picture. No juvenile delinquents, just foster kids that need help. Now, slowly but surely over time, you add more kids, you add more homes, you add homes for the unwanted elderly that have nowhere to go. They can help with the kids can help with them, you know, help motivate them. That's not the right word, help. You have a word, Seb? Help what? Bring them back to life. They're part of a family, right? Mm-hmm. Then you have parent training, maybe for those foster kids and their parents who need help getting their life back together, who really want their family back together. Because really, foster kids, if they can't have a stable home in a place like this, the best place in the world for them is at home with their parents. The best and only place, really. This will give kids a place where they can go to school like normal kids. They can grow up with siblings, other kids that are with them there, that have the same problem, that can understand what they're feeling. They have a real sense of family, a place they can always go home to. Because the thing is here is, according to the Federal Child Welfare Department, 50% of all kids that are put in the foster system stay there until they age out. That's 250,000 children per year are permanently put in the foster system and permanently going through that cycle. That's, if we did something like this and we put 5 kids in a home, we'd only need 50,000 homes and 100,000 parents, parents. Seems like big numbers, but there are 5 million people in LA alone. So these are really very small numbers, which makes it, a realistic thing to do. Right now, the government pays $750 per month to a foster parent to take a child in. If we take that money and route it into a program like that, that's a base of $107 million per year for this program. And we're talking nationwide. There's plenty of space for this. There's plenty of people willing to volunteer to build these homes. This can be done. In conclusion, this is just a simple idea from a simple girl still trying to get her education. But if we put bigger minds behind this, get people motivated, get word out there, this can be done, or something similar can be done. We can write our congressmen, our senators, our governors in all the different states and really call for a change in this system. Bring it to the public eye again and really get these kids some help. If you need any information, I have contact information so you can write these people. I have more statistics. Any questions, anything you'd like to know? No? You live with me, you know everything, do you? That's you?
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah?
Yeah, you were talking about the, like, senior people, and I would go to that place too, and I wasn't aware of that, which is, I thought, a pretty cool idea too.
We talked about that, yeah. We talked about that. Because seniors, they go to their own form of hellish group home, where they also have no motivation, and they just slowly but surely die off because they have nothing to live for anymore. You bring them around a bunch of kids, what a nice thing.
How about the legal aspect of it?
Oh, that's where the bigger minds come in.
Okay.
I'm a simple girl. Yeah, so.
All right.
Any other questions?
No?
Thank you for attending my speech.